What if the smartest man in Westeros discovered Jon Snow's true parentage and chose honor over family? Let's explore how one dwarf's courage could reshape the Seven Kingdoms. Tyrion Lannister sits alone in the Tower of the Hand, a wine cup trembling. In his fingers, the letter before him makes no sense. He reads it again, squinting in the candlelight, hoping the words will change. They don't. The parchment is old, yellowed at the edges. The handwriting belongs to his father, Tywin Lannister. But these words, these secrets, they cannot be real. The boy Jon Snow is not Ned Stark's bastard. He is the son of Rhaegar Targaryen and Lyanna Stark. I have known this since Robert's rebellion ended. I kept this secret to protect our family's position, should Robert discover the truth, he would kill the boy. Should Cersei learn of it, she would use it against the Starks. Guard this knowledge well, for it is a blade that cuts many ways. Tyrion's heart pounds against his ribs. His mouth goes dry despite the wine. For a moment he cannot breathe. Jon Snow, a Targaryen, the last living son of the Crown Prince. Impossible, he whispers to the empty room. But even as he says it, pieces click into place. Ned Stark's honor. His refusal to name Jon's mother, the way King Robert never questioned it too deeply, perhaps not wanting to hurt his friend further, and now Ned Stark is dead. It's executed by Joffrey's order despite Cersei's plans. That foolish, cruel boy had destroyed their one chance at peace. Tyrion stands, legs shaking. He paces the room, mind racing through possibilities. The North has declared Robb Stark as king in the North. The boy is marching south with an army, hungry for vengeance. Stannis Baratheon claims the throne from Dragonstone. Renly Baratheon has crowned himself in Highgarden with the Tyrells at his back, and none of them know the truth. There is a rightful king, a boy with both ice and fire in his blood, a boy who could unite the realm instead of tearing it apart. Tyrion looks at the letter again. His father's words feel like chains around his chest. Guard this knowledge well. Stay silent. Protect the family. Let the realm burn as long as House Lannister keeps its power. He thinks of Joffrey sitting on that throne, a monster wearing a crown. Thinks of his sister, cold and ruthless, willing to burn the world to keep her children safe. He thinks of his father, who would sacrifice anything and anyone for the family name. And then he thinks of Jon Snow, a boy who chose the wall, a boy who gave up his name, his future, his claim to anything, for duty. Duty, Tyrion says aloud. The word tastes strange in his mouth. His whole life, people have told him he was a disgrace to House Lannister, too small, too clever, too kind, a disappointment to his father, a joke to his sister. Perhaps it is time to become the joke they always saw. Tyrion picks up the letter and holds it over the candle flame. For a heartbeat, he hesitates. Once he does this, there is no going back. His family will call him traitor. His father will disown him. His sister will want him dead. But Jon Snow is the rightful king. The realm is drowning in blood. He pulls the letter back from the flame. No, this is too important to burn. This is proof. This is truth. Tyrion tucks the letter inside his coat and walks to the door. His legs feel stronger now. His purpose is clear. He needs to get to the North. He needs to find Jon Snow. And he needs to make a bastard into a king. The journey north is harder than Tyrion expected. He cannot simply walk out of King's Landing and declare his intentions. Cersei watches him constantly, suspicious of his every move. Joffrey sees him as a useful tool, but nothing more. So Tyrion plays the game. He smiles at court, advises Joffrey with wisdom the boy never follows. He drinks and jokes and acts the part of the loyal Lannister, but at night he plans first. He needs allies. Not many people in King's Landing would help a dwarf commit treason, but there are always those who can be bought or convinced. He starts with Bronn, the Sellsword, who has become something close to a friend. They meet in a tavern near Flea Bottom, far from the eyes of the court. "I need your help with something dangerous," Tyrion says, sliding a purse of gold across the table. Bronn weighs the purse in his hand, then grins. "Dangerous pays well. What are we doing? Getting me out of King's Landing, and then north to the Wall?" The grin fades. The Wall? In the middle of a war? You've gone mad? Perhaps. The pay is good, and the company is better than what waits. Here, Tyrion leans forward. I'm not asking you to follow me forever. Just get me north. After that, you can take your gold and go wherever you please. Bronn studies him for a long moment. This is about that Stark boy, isn't it? The one they executed. No, this is about his bastard. It's the one at the wall. Why? Tyrion cannot tell him the truth. Not yet, because the North is in rebellion, and I believe Jon Snow can help end this war. He's Ned Stark's son. The Northerners would listen to him. It is not quite a lie. It's just not the whole truth. Bronn shrugs. Your funeral? When do we leave? 3 days in Bronn? Not a word to anyone. Aye, not a word. The second ally Tyrion seeks is more dangerous. Varys the Spider. Knows every secret in the Seven Kingdoms. If Tyrion is planning treason, Varys likely already knows. They meet in the secret tunnels beneath the Red Keep, where Varys likes to conduct his most private conversations. Lord Tyrion, Varys says smoothly, his hands folded in his sleeves. Unexpected, and how very interesting. You know why I'm here? I know many things, my lord. I know you have been reading your father's private letters. I know you have been meeting with Sellswords in Fleabottom. I know you plan to leave King's Landing very soon. Varys smiles. What I do not know is why. Tyrion takes a breath. This is the moment. Either Varys will help him, or Varys will betray him to Cersei. Jon Snow is a Targaryen, the son of Rhaegar and Lyanna Stark. He is the rightful king of the Seven Kingdoms. Varys' smile doesn't change, but something flickers in his eyes. Is that so? You already knew, suspected. But suspicion is not proof. Varys steps closer. Do you have proof, Lord Tyrion? Tyrion pulls out the letter. Varys reads it carefully, his expression unreadable. Finally, Varys hands it back. Your father was a careful man, kept many secrets. This is perhaps his most dangerous. Will you help me? Help you do what? Precisely. Commit treason against your family. Crown a boy who has sworn an oath to the Night's Watch. Start another war. Help me end the wars. Jon Snow has the best claim. He's both Stark and Targaryen. The North would follow him. So might the South? If we present the truth correctly, Varys is quiet for a long time. Then he sighs. The realm needs peace, Lord Tyrion. It needs a ruler who cares for the people, not just power. If you truly believe Jon Snow is that ruler, then perhaps there is a chance. Does that mean you'll help? It means I will not stop you. I will provide you with information. You need to survive your journey. But I cannot openly support this. Not yet. If you fail, I must remain in position to help what comes next. It is not the answer Tyrion wanted, but it is enough. There is one more thing, Varys says. The boy is not at the wall anymore. He has been called back to Winterfell by his brother, Robb Stark. Something about a letter from Ned Stark before he died. Tyrion's heart skips. Ned told Robb. It would seem so. The North is about to learn the truth, Lord Tyrion. The question is whether the South will learn it from you, or from your enemies. 3 days later, Tyrion leaves King's Landing with Bronn and 2 other Sellswords Bronn vouched for. They ride hard, avoiding the main roads where Lannister patrols might stop them. Cersei will notice his absence soon. She will send men after him. But by then, Tyrion plans to be far beyond her reach. They ride through the Riverlands, which are burning. Lannister and Stark forces clash across the countryside, leaving villages destroyed and small folk dead. Tyrion sees the cost of this war in every burned farm and empty-eyed survivor. This is what his family has done. This is the legacy of House Lannister. One night, they camped near a ruined sept. Bronn sits beside the fire, sharpening his sword. You're thinking loud over there, Bronn says. What's eating you? Tyrion stares into the flames. Do you ever wonder if we're on the wrong side? Every side is wrong when you're a Sellsword. That's why I don't pick sides. I pick gold. But what if there was a right side? What if there was? Someone worth fighting for, not just someone who pays well. Bronn stops sharpening. You really believe this Snowboy is different? I think he's the only chance we have. Joffrey is a monster. Cersei is blind to it. My father cares only for the family legacy. But Jon Snow, he gave up everything for duty. That's the kind of man who should be king, or the kind of man who gets himself killed, Bronn mutters. But he doesn't argue further. They reach the edge of the north 5 days later. The land is different, colder, harder. The people look at them with suspicion, seeing the gold and crimson of hired swords. At a small village, they stop to buy supplies. The innkeeper is a large woman with sharp eyes. You're far from home, little man, she says, counting Tyrion's coins. Farther every day, Tyrion agrees. Tell me what news from Winterfell. The woman's expression darkens. The young wolf has called his banners. They say he's marching south to free his father. Except, ... double quotes. Except Lord Eddard is already dead, killed by that demon child on the throne. You've heard about Jon Snow? The woman's eyes narrow. What about him? Heard he was called back from the wall. Aye, the young wolf sent for him. Some say it's because he's not really a bastard. Some say Ned Stark's last words were about the boy. She leans forward. Some say he's got dragon blood, so the rumors have started. That could be good or bad depending on how quickly they spread. Where is the young wolf's army now? Last I heard, Riverrun. It's gathering forces with the Tullys. Riverrun. Now that's weeks away, even riding hard. But it's where Tyrion needs to go. They arrive at Riverrun 3 weeks later, exhausted and hungry. The castle is surrounded by an army, thousands of northern and riverland soldiers preparing for war. Getting inside will be impossible. Tyrion is a Lannister. They'll kill him on sight. We need a different approach, he tells Bronn. Like what? Knock on the door and ask nicely, Tyrion? Thinks for a moment. Actually, yes, but we need to send a message first. He writes a letter, carefully choosing every word to Jon Snow, a son of Rhaegar, Targaryen, and Lyanna Stark. I am Tyrion Lannister, and I know the truth of your birth. I have proof from my father's own hand. I come not as your enemy, but as your servant. The realm needs its rightful king. Let me help you claim what is yours. I await your response at the gates of Riverrun. If you choose to kill me, I understand. But please, read this letter first. The 7 kingdoms are dying. You are the only one who can save them. Tyrion of House Lannister. He ties the letter to an arrow and has Bronn shoot it over the wall at dawn. When the guards change shifts, then they wait. Hours pass. Tyrion expects soldiers to pour out and arrest them. Instead, as the sun begins to set, the gates open. A single rider emerges. It's a young man, perhaps 20, with dark curly hair and gray eyes, wears black leather and fur, and a white direwolf. Walks beside his horse, Jon Snow. Even from a distance, Tyrion can see the boy is nervous. His hand rests on his sword hilt. But he rides forward alone, brave or foolish enough to meet them. Lord Tyrion, Jon says when he's close enough. His voice is steady, despite his youth. That's an interesting letter you sent. I meant every word. Say you have proof. Show me. Tyrion pulls out Tywin's letter. Jon reads it slowly, his face pale in the fading light. When he finishes, his hands are shaking. This ... This cannot be real. Your father, Ned Stark, gave his life protecting this secret. My father kept it for power, giving it to you because the realm needs a king who cares about more than gold and glory. Jon looks up, his gray eyes piercing. Why should I trust you? You're a Lannister. Your family killed my father. Your nephew gave the order. Yes, and I am ashamed of it. I cannot undo what Joffrey did, but I can try to make it right. You are the true king, Jon Snow. Not Joffrey, not Stannis, not Renly. You. I don't want to be king. I never wanted any of this. I know. It's exactly why you should be. Tyrion steps closer. The best rulers are those who don't seek power. They're the ones who take it because they must, because no one else will do what's right. Jon is quiet for a long moment, the direwolf pressing against his leg. Finally, he says, "Come with me. Robb will want to hear this." Inside Riverrun, Tyrion faces a room full of hostile eyes. Northern lords and Riverland's bannermen all stare at him with hatred. He is a Lannister in the heart of enemy territory. At the head of the table sits Robb Stark, a young wolf, only 17, but already a proven warrior. Beside him stands Catelyn Stark, her face hard as stone. "You from the walls," Robb says, "'cause I can help you win this war. You're a Lannister. You're probably a spy." "I was a Lannister," Tyrion corrects. "Now I'm a traitor to my family and a dead man if they catch me. I came here because Jon Snow is the rightful king, and your war, brave as it is, will only lead to more death." "Watch your tongue, imp," says the great Jon, his hand on his sword. But Robb raises a hand for silence. "What proof do you have?" Tyrion presents Tywin's letter. Robb reads it, then passes it to his mother. Catelyn's face goes white. "Ned told me," Robb says quietly. "Before they killed him, he sent me a letter. He told me about Jon, about who he really is. I didn't want to believe it." He looks at Jon, who stands near the back of the room. "But it's true, isn't it?" Jon nods slowly. "Father told me everything. Right before I was about to leave for the wall, I wanted to refuse. I wanted to just be Jon Snow, a man of the Night's Watch. But he made me promise, made me swear to stay alive, to protect the secret until the time was right. And now the time is right," Tyrion says. "The realm is tearing itself apart. 3 kings claim the throne, but only one has the true right. You, Jon Snow, or should I say Jon Targaryen. I don't use that name. Perhaps you should start." Room erupts in argument. Some lords want Tyrion thrown out. Others want him executed. Few are quiet, thinking. Finally, Catelyn speaks. "He's right." Everyone turns to stare at her. She looks at Jon with something that might be regret. "I hated you for so long, thinking you were Ned's betrayal. But you're not. You're my sister's son, your family." Her voice breaks. "And Ned died protecting you. We can't let that be for nothing. Mother ... double quotes, Robb says softly. "I know what I'm saying, Robb. You declared yourself king in the North, and that was right. But Jon has a claim to all 7 kingdoms. If we support him, we can end this war before more people die." The great Jon slams his fist on the table. "The North doesn't bow to Southern kings. What if the king has Northern blood?" asks Mage Mormont, her voice cutting through the noise. "What if he's a Stark as much as a Targaryen?" Slowly, carefully, the lords begin to discuss it. Tyrion watches Jon's face. The boy looks terrified. After hours of debate, Robb stands. This is Jon's choice. He's the one with the claim. "Jon, what do you want?" Jon is silent for a long time. Then he says, "I want the war to end. I want justice for father. I want the realm to have peace." He takes a deep breath, declaring, "My claim can do that, then I'll do it. But I need help. I don't know how to be a king." Tyrion steps forward. "Then let me teach you. I've served in King's Landing. Slide. I know how the game is played. Between my knowledge and your right to rule, we can win this." Robb looks at Tyrion for a long moment, then nods. "Welcome to the war, Lord Tyrion. And know this, if you betray us, if you betray Jon, I'll kill you myself. Understood, Your Grace." Tyrion bows, and for the first time in his life, he feels like he's doing something that matters. The days that follow are chaos. Tyrion works with Jon and Robb to create a plan. They need allies, and they need them fast. First, they send ravens to every corner of the realm, declaring Jon's true identity and his claim to the throne. The letters include copies of Tywin's confession and Ned Stark's testimony. Some laugh it off as a desperate lie. Others take notice. Dorne Prince Doran Martell reads the letter with great interest. His sister Elia's children were murdered by Gregor Clegane on Tywin Lannister's orders. But here is another child of Rager, one who lives. Doran sends his brother Oberyn Martell north with a small force of Dornish spears. Finally, Oberyn says when he arrives at Riverrun, his eyes bright with excitement. A war worth fighting. In the Stormlands, some of Renly's bannermen begin to question their loyalty. If Jon Snow is truly a Targaryen, does he have a better claim than Renly? The argument split Renly's forces. Stannis Baratheon reacts with fury. sends a letter calling Jon a pretender and demanding he bend the knee. When Jon refuses, Stannis vows to crush him along with all the other false kings. But the most important response comes from the North itself, one by one. The Northern lords who had declared for Robb now declare for Jon, not because they care about Targaryen blood, but because Jon is Ned Stark's son in every way that matters. He was raised in Winterfell. He has Northern values. He's one of them, the king in the North.
Oh.
They cry, but now they mean Jon, not Robb. Robb doesn't seem bothered. I never wanted to be king, he tells Jon privately. I did it because I thought I had to, but this is right. You're the better choice. Jon grips his brother's shoulder. I can't do this without you. You're still the commander of our armies. You're still the young wolf. You're the dragon wolf, Robb says with a small smile. We'll do this together. Tyrion becomes Jon's chief advisor, teaching him about politics, diplomacy, and the dangerous Game of Thrones. They spend long hours in the library at Riverrun, Tyrion explaining how the Southern lords think, how to negotiate, when to show strength and when to show mercy. You're too honest, Tyrion tells him one evening. That's both your greatest strength and your biggest weakness. I won't lie to people. I'm not asking you to lie. I'm asking you to be careful with the truth. There's a difference. Jon frowns. Like what? Like what? Like when Lord Manderley asks if you'll return his son from King's Landing. Don't promise something you can't deliver. Say instead that you'll do everything in your power. When Lady Mormont asks if you'll honor the old ways, don't just say yes. Explain which old ways you support and which ones need to change. This all sounds like lying to me. It's politics. And if you want to survive as king, you need to learn it. Slowly, Jon begins to understand. He's a quick student, smarter than he gives himself credit for. But he never loses his core values: honor, duty, protecting those who cannot protect themselves. 1. Night, as they review battle plans, Jon asks, "Why are you really doing this?" The truth, Tyrion, not politics. Tyrion sets down his wine cup. Because I'm tired of being ashamed. My whole life, my family has told me I'm a disappointment. Maybe they're right. But if I'm going to disappoint them, I might as well do it for something that matters. You're not a disappointment. You're the bravest man here. You gave up everything to do what's right. So did you. They share a look of understanding, two outcasts trying to save a kingdom that never wanted them. The war intensifies. Tywin Lannister, learning of Tyrion's betrayal, offers a massive reward for his capture, dead or alive. Cersei is even more vicious, sending assassins north. 3 attempts are made on Tyrion's life in the first month. Bronn stops the first one. Jon's direwolf ghost stops the second. The third nearly succeeds, a poisoned blade that cuts Tyrion's arm. He survives, but the message is clear. His family will never forgive him. They say your father has removed you from the family, Jon tells him gently. You're no longer a Lannister. Good, Tyrion says, though his hand shakes as he pours wine. I never wanted to be one anyway. But late at night, alone in his room, Tyrion weeps. Not for the loss of his name, but for what might have been if his father had loved him. If his sister had seen him as a brother instead of a curse, if his family had chosen honor over power. But those are dreams. This is reality. Robb leads the northern armies south, while Jon remains at Riverrun, gathering more support. It's a smart strategy. Robb is the military genius, Jon is the political symbol. Oberyn Martell quickly becomes one of Jon's most valuable allies. The Red Viper is everything Tyrion is not. Tall, handsome, deadly in combat. But he respects Tyrion's mind. You're clever. Then you look, Imp, Oberyn says one day during training. I've been called worse, Tyrion replies. They're watching Jon spar with Robb in the courtyard. Jon has improved dramatically, his sword work sharp and precise. But Robb still has the edge, born from more experience. He'll be a good king, Oberyn observes. He survives long enough to take the throne. That's what worries me. Jon has the claim and the support, but he doesn't have the ruthlessness. He'll hesitate when he should strike. He'll show mercy when he should show strength. Then we must be ruthless for him, Oberyn says, his smile dangerous. Let him be the honorable. King will be the ones who do the dark work. It's a troubling thought, but Tyrion knows it's necessary. Someone has to make the hard choices. Someone has to get their hands dirty. Tyrion just hopes Jon never learns how dirty. The first major battle comes at the twins, Walder Frey, that old weasel has been sitting on his neutrality, waiting to see who wins. He controls the only crossing point for miles, making him crucial to the war. Jon decides to negotiate personally. Against everyone's advice, he rides to the twins with only a small guard. This is madness, Tyrion argues. Frey can't be trusted. He'll betray you the moment it's convenient, and I'll make it inconvenient, Jon says calmly. Lord Frey values his family above all else. I'll offer him something he can't refuse. Like what? An alliance through marriage? One of his daughters or granddaughters can marry into House Stark. Catelyn shakes her head. Jon, you can't tie yourself to the Freys. You'll need a better match politically. I'm not offering myself. I'm offering Robb. The room goes silent. Robb stares at his brother. Jon, ... You said you'd do anything to win this war? So will I. We need the twins. This is how we get them. Robb slowly nods. All right, that's what it takes. The negotiation with Walder Frey is as unpleasant as Tyrion expected. The old lord sits in his hall, surrounded by his countless children and grandchildren, licking his lips as he considers Jon's offer. A king comes begging at my door, Frey says. How interesting. And you want my bridge? I want your loyalty, Jon corrects. The bridge comes with it. Loyalty can be bought. What are you offering? A marriage pact? Robb Stark, the young wolf, will wed one of your daughters. Your grandson can foster at Winterfell. And when this war is won, House Frey will be rewarded. With lands and titles, Frey strokes his chin. You're Ned Stark's boy, aren't you? Even if you're secretly a dragon, you've got his honor, his stupid and flexible honor. Is that a problem? It means you'll keep your word, like some kings I could name. Frey leans forward. I'll give you my bridge and my swords. But I want something else too. What? I want your Lannister advisor to publicly apologize for every insult the Lannisters have ever given House Frey. I want him to grovel. Tyrion steps forward before Jon can respond. I'll do it. Tyrion, no, Jon starts. It's fine. Tyrion looks at Walder Frey with disgust. I'll apologize for my family's behavior. I'll grovel if that's what it takes. But know this, Lord Frey. I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing it for the realm. Frey laughs, a wet, unpleasant sound. Then get on your knees, little man, Tyrion kneels. The humiliation burns, but he speaks the words Frey demands, apologizing for slights real and imagined. When he's done, his face is red, his pride shattered. But they have the twins as they leave. Jon helps Tyrion to his feet. You didn't have to do that. Yes, I did. You would have refused, and we would have lost the crossing. Sometimes, Jon, pride is a luxury we can't afford. I won't forget this, good, because I'm never doing it again. With the twins secured, Robb's army crosses the river and marches toward Harrenhal, where Tywin Lannister has made his base. The plan is simple. Draw Tywin out, encircle him, and crush his army. But Tywin is not so easily trapped. He's fought in more wars than Robb has been alive. When the northern army approaches, Tywin doesn't engage. Instead, he fortifies Harrenhal and waits. He's trying to drag this out, Tyrion explains to Jon. Make us waste resources on a siege while Stannis and Renly fight each other in the south. Then, when we're all weakened, he'll strike. So what do? We don't give him what he wants. We leave a small force to contain him and march the rest south. South, but King's Landing is the real prize. Take the capital. Take the throne. And suddenly, Tywin's position becomes untenable. He'll have to abandon Harrenhal to defend the city. Jon considers this. It's risky. All of this is risky. But it's our best chance. They send ravens to Robb explaining the plan. To everyone's surprise, Robb agrees. He leaves the Blackfish with a small force to watch Harrenhal, while the main army turns south. Meanwhile, in King's Landing, Cersei is panicking. News of Jon Snow's claim has reached the capital, and the city is buzzing with rumors. some believe. Others call it northern propaganda. Joffrey, in his infinite wisdom, decides to prove the claim is false by having the Grand Maester declare Jon a bastard and a liar. But Grand Maester Pycelle is old and frightened. When questioned by Cersei about Jon's parentage, he stammers and hesitates. He knows something, Tyrion realizes. Pycelle was in King's Landing during Robert's rebellion. He knows secrets. Before Cersei can silence him, Varys smuggles Pycelle out. Of the city, the Spider is finally choosing a side. It's not the Lannisters. Without Pycelle's testimony, Joffrey's credibility crumbles. The small folk begin to wonder, what if the Stark boy is telling the truth? What if Joffrey is the bastard born of incest? The rumors spread like wildfire. Cersei tries to stamp them out, but for every person she silences, 10 more repeat the story. When Tyrion learns of this from Varys' spy network, he smiles. The truth is a powerful weapon. Stannis Baratheon, meanwhile, makes his move. His fleet sails for King's Landing, and his army marches from Storm's End. He intends to take the city before Jon Snow can reach it. It becomes a race. Stannis from the south, Jon from the north. Both converging on the capital, Robb's army moves fast, marching day and night. They push their soldiers to the limit, covering ground at an impossible pace. But Stannis is closer, and his forces are fresh. We're not going to make it, Robb admits during a war council. Stannis will reach the city before us, and we let him, Tyrion says. Everyone stares at him. Think about it, Tyrion continues. Stannis attacks King's Landing, weakens his forces fighting the city defenses. And by the time he takes the throne, we arrive with a fresh army. We let him do the hard work, then we sweep in and finish it. That's dot 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 on isum dot up of the dot dot I da 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 I sa da 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 saka da 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 da. It's practical. Do you want to be a good king or a dead hero? Jon doesn't answer, but he doesn't argue either. The Battle of King's Landing is brutal. Stannis' forces assault the city walls with fire and steel. Joffrey hides in the Red Keep while his men die. Cersei prepares wildfire to burn the city if she loses. Tyrion, watching from a distance through scouts, feels a twist of guilt. These are his people dying, even if they hate him. The small folk, the soldiers, the servants, none of them asked for this war, but there's no turning back now. Stannis breaches the walls after 2 days of fighting. His men pour into the city, cutting down Lannister soldiers. Joffrey flees through the secret tunnels, but he's caught by Goldcloaks, who have switched sides. When Stannis finally sits on the Iron Throne, battered and bloodied, he declares himself king for about 6 hours. Then Robb Stark's army arrives at the gates, 30,000 strong. Behind them, Jon Snow rides on a white horse, Ghost at his side. Banners of the direwolf and the three-headed dragon flying together. Stannis, exhausted from the battle, has no choice but to negotiate. The meeting between Jon and Stannis takes place in the throne room. Stannis sits on the Iron Throne, rigid and unyielding. Jon stands below, calm and steady. You claim to be Rhaegar's son, Stannis says. Prove it. Jon presents the evidence. Tywin's letter, Ned's testimony, witness accounts. From those who knew Lyanna Stark, Stannis reads everything, his face like stone. Finally, he says, even if this is true, you have no right to the throne. You're a bastard. Targaryen or not, you were born outside of marriage. Rhaegar married my mother, Jon says quietly. In secret, before the rebellion. I'm not a bastard. Convenient. Do you have proof of this marriage? Jon hesitates. He doesn't. The marriage was performed in secret, and anyone who witnessed it is likely dead. But then a new voice speaks from the shadows. I have proof. An old man steps forward, bent and frail, wearing the robes of a Septon. His face is weathered, his eyes kind. My name is Septon Eldrick. I performed the marriage between Rhaegar Targaryen and Lyanna Stark 26 years ago at the Tower of Joy. I recorded it in the sacred books, as is tradition. If you send for the records from Old Town, you will find the entry. The room erupts. Stannis looks like he's been struck. Cersei chained. In a corner, screams, curses. Jon stares at the old Septon. Why now? Why reveal this now? Because the realm needs you, your grace. I have watched in silence as it tore itself apart. I cannot remain silent any longer. Stannis rises from the throne, his face hard. If what you say is true, then Jon Snow Targaryen has the rightful claim. He descends the steps slowly. I am a man of duty. I am a man of law. If the law says he is king, then I will bend the knee. Brother, no, shouts Davos Seaworth, but Stannis kneels. I am no usurper. I claimed the throne because I believed Robert's. Children were bastards born of incest. If there is a truer claim than mine, I will acknowledge it. It is the most honorable act Tyrion has ever witnessed. Jon helps Stannis to his feet. I need men like you, Lord Stannis, men of principle. Will you serve me? Stannis looks at him for a long moment, then nods. I will serve. The coronation happens 3 days later. Jon Snow becomes Jon Targaryen, the first of his name, king of the Seven Kingdoms. He wears a crown of iron and dragon glass, made by the smiths of Winterfell. He does not sit on the Iron Throne, that monstrosity of swords and pain. Instead, he orders it melted down. This throne was built on fear and blood, Jon says, before the assembled lords of Westeros. I will not rule from it. When the Iron Throne is gone, we will build something new. A council of lords, where every kingdom has a voice. I will be king, but I will not be a tyrant. The lords murmur, some in approval, others in concern. Tyrion watches from the side, proud and exhausted. They've done it, against all odds. They've put the rightful king on the throne, but the work is just beginning. The realm does not heal overnight. There are still rebels to pacify, lands to rebuild, justice to dispense. Joffrey is tried for his crimes and found guilty. Jon shows mercy by offering him the wall instead of execution. Joffrey, arrogant to the end, refuses and demands death. Jon grants it, swinging the sword himself, as Ned Stark once taught him. Cersei is stripped of her titles and sent to the Silent Sisters to live out her days in penance. She curses Jon with her last free words, promising that her family will have vengeance, but House Lannister is broken. Tywin died during the Battle of King's Landing, killed by Oberyn Martell in single combat. Jaime Lannister, the Kingslayer, bent the knee to Jon and now serves in the Kingsguard, seeking redemption. As for Tyrion, Jon offers him a place on the small council as Master of Coin. I don't want it, Tyrion says. I've spent enough time in politics. I want to go home. Where is home? I don't know anymore. Casterly Rock hates me. King's Landing is full of memories. The North is too cold. Jon smiles. Then stay here. Make this your home. You saved the realm, Tyrion. You deserve a place in it. Tyrion looks around the room. At Robb, who has become a true friend. At Oberyn, who respects him. At Jon, who values him not despite his size, but because of his mind. All right, Tyrion says. I'll stay, but only if you promise to listen to my advice. Always. Years pass. Jon proves to be a good king, better than anyone expected. He rules. With wisdom and fairness, balancing mercy with justice. The realm slowly recovers from the war. Robb marries a Frey girl, as promised, though he's not happy about it at first. To everyone's surprise, they grow to love each other. Jon marries Marguerite Tyrell, securing the support of the Reach. Together, they work to heal the divisions between North and South. Tyrion finds purpose as Master of Coin, using his cleverness. To rebuild the kingdom's economy, he never marries, but he's content. For the first time in his life, he's valued for who he is, not what his family wanted him to be. One evening, years after the war ended, Tyrion and Jon stand on the battlements of the Red Keep, watching the sun set over King's Landing. "Do you ever regret it?" Jon asks. "Betraying your family, giving up everything?" Tyrion thinks for a long moment, then shakes his head. "My family would have destroyed the realm for their pride. At least this way, I was part of something that mattered. You were more than a part of it. You made it possible. We made it possible." Together, they stand in comfortable silence, two outcasts who became brothers, watching over a kingdom they saved, and for the first time in a long time, the realm is at peace.